Hello YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Stardew Valley Strategy and Tactics, Episode 1 of a brand new opener. So I've been so obsessed with this game, so completely obsessed with this game, that I have been playing it for, let me check my Steam overlay, about 70 hours. And yet I have not made it past the first summer in any of my games. The reason being is I am obsessed with making like the absolute perfect spring. Spring number 1, that is. Now, you can still have a successful farm without going into the level of detail that I do here, but that's the kind of stuff I like to do. I live for this stuff. So today we are going to do another little mini-series here, another run through spring number 1 with a brand new farm here, but we're going to do a different strategy, a fairly different strategy compared to my first run through. If you haven't seen my first run through, go ahead and check out that title card, and you can get a link to the playlist to see the first strat, and we'll see if we can't iterate and possibly improve on that strategy. So, without further ado, this strategy I call is the lazy farmer strategy. So, let's see if we can make it work for us. Okay, so after remapping my controls here, we of course will be getting our parsnip seeds as per normal. And just out of force of habit, check our weather. Beautiful day tomorrow. What's the spirits doing? Doesn't really matter. It's a waste of a very happy day. Because what we're going to be doing today is actually we're going to be doing the 4+4 opener almost verbatim for today. So day 1 today in this strat is going to look like a lot like day 1 of previous one. And same rules apply, and I'm going to reiterate the strategy in case you haven't seen my first video. The 4+4 video basically, the 4+4 opener, basically says that we're going to be spending all of our money on parsnips, in addition to planting the 15 freebies. And as such, we want to make room for enough fields plots to make this all happen, while conserving our energy to make sure that we have enough energy to make this all, to make room to, dig the plots and what have you. Water them, plant them, all that fun stuff. So, and the reason why it's called the 4+4 strategy is we want 4, clay. We want 4 3x3 fields here, plus 4 more individual spaces. Now, you don't have to split them up like this. I just happen to like doing it that way. The other bit of tip here is to sort of conserve our energy. You'll notice that I did a lot with my scythe. That's because the scythe doesn't require and doesn't expend any energy when you use it. So handy that. Now, granted, there's still going to be rocks and sticks in the way, so you still have to use a little bit of energy to get this done. So here are our 4. Now we just need our +4, which will be 1, 2, 3, and break out the pickaxe. 4. Ooh, another clay. Sweet. Okay, let us go and get us some more parsnip seeds. Now, if you see any collectibles along the way here, you want to not pick them up, because at the moment inventory space is at a premium. We do not want to completely max out our inventory, as that will sort of deadlock us to progressing ourselves here. And just on time, 9 o'clock. We can pop into Pierre's. Might as well talk to everybody who is in here. Get your introduction quest flowing. And yes, all the money on parsnip seeds. Now, in my previous series, I mentioned that you might want a few tulip bulbs, which are also 20. But in this case, we actually, well, I mean, you could do tulip bulbs. They're not the end of the world, but I'd say go for the parsnips. They're a little bit more reliable in terms of giving you money. And actually, one of the hallmarks of this particular run here is we're actually not going to be very social in the spring. My goal of trying to get my chosen bachelorette to 4 hearts in time for the dance, that's probably not going to happen, but that's okay. It's not that we're dooming ourselves to a life of solitude. Quite to the contrary, we are setting ourselves up for some success down the road and a very, very eventful summer. So that's the main plan here. Now you might be saying, hey Pinstar, so what's so different about this plan? How is this lazy? I mean, you're working your butt off here. How's this the lazy farmer? Well, the lazy farmer name for the strat is more of a longer term name. In the early game, we are still working our butt off in terms of farming, but there's a very specific reason for it. I mean, before we were doing this to try and maximize our profits. Here, we're actually doing it for a slightly different reason. A reason I will demonstrate for you later on in the season. Now, granted, the profits of eventually selling all these parsnip seeds are indeed a motivator. I'm not turning my nose up to that. Money is certainly going to be a desirable thing, and we have a very specific spending order in which we expend our money. But for the time being, we just want to get everything in the ground, everything watered. Any and all energy you have left over, use it on trees. Not saplings, not sticks. Use it on full-grown trees. And if you have to cut your way there, feel free to use the scythe as much as you want, since it costs no energy to do so. Do preserve the grass. You want to preserve the grass. I mean, it's okay if you nick it, but don't completely clear out grassy patches, because you're going to want to use them later. Okay, let's continue expending energy on our cutting down trees here. Our goal is 50 wood, because if we can get 50 wood, we can make ourselves a box, and then that inventory crunch is not so much a problem. Keep a close eye on your energy, though. You do not want to go below 0 and enter an exhausted state. Not only will that cut your movement speed well, I guess in half, if I had to estimate. It makes you wake up the next morning with half energy, and that really slows things down. See, 10, another swing, we're at 8. Another swing, we're at 6, so we're burning 2, so we got 3 more swings, but we only need 1 more to fell the tree. We do not have enough swings to dedicate to another, but that doesn't matter. We've got 52 wood, so we got what we need. A lot of the parts of this strat kind of rest on things coming in exactly when they need to. But the mainstay of this is that it is not luck-based. I don't like making strategies that are luck-based. So it's not that you have to necessarily depend on luck for these things to come in on time, but rather, do things in specific sequences. Okay, so now that we have enough energy in reserve that we can do a sweep through some of our path. Actually, let me take the scythe so I can clear a path through the vegetation. To open up the northern exit of our farm. Ooh, mixed seeds, those are good. Don't plant them right away, but they'll be useful later on, especially if we get crows. There we go, perfect. Yeah, you want to cut yourself a path, and you should be able to do it with just the scythe. Now, another key component of this, and this is still mirroring my old strategy. Keep an eye out for earthworms and forageables. Of course, you want forageables. But keep your eyes peeled for earthworms, because yeah, we want to dig for them. Now, the acquisition of clay is important. Don't get me wrong, but it's not quite as critically important this time around, because our thrust to get an early silo, early chicken coop in the really early game is not quite our focus. So if we have to put off building our silo and therefore a chicken coop, that's okay. That is okay. Aha! I have captured the elusive Sebastian. Will we get the elusive Maru? No, she's in town somewhere. And just like before, I am going to be going after Maru. And actually for a completely different reason. I mean, for the same reason in the sense that I like, of the Bachelorettes, I personally as a player like her the most. So that's why I'm choosing to pursue her. But mechanically speaking, in terms of her gift preferences, it works really well with this strategy. In terms of us being able to engineer the possession of many iterations of her favorite gift over time. But again, it has it's a longer term plan. But the early seeds of which will be laid during this playthrough. Yes, introductions. All right, half done with our introductions. Still scanning for earthworms. I'm probably going to poke my head into the beach to scan for earthworms and also gatherables there. Let's not forget to say to hi to Georgie boy, because he doesn't come out much. So oftentimes, if you're missing someone on the introductions quest, it's probably him or Caroline, the green-haired wife of Pierre. She doesn't get out very much. Sebastian doesn't get out very much either. So those three are usually the culprits when you're short just one or two people. Oh, and the wizard too, but you can't get into the wizard's hut until you progress the storyline for the town hall community center thing. All right, no worms, unfortunately, but that's okay. We are just going to continue going along here. Now, one other trip that I would advocate here, and this is again searching for worms and other goodies for us, is to head on south here because there might be some spring onions. Oh, hey, Lee. Say hi to Lee. She can be hard to catch sometimes if you don't go this way very often. But yeah, spring onions can be gathered. Not only does that build your gathering skill, it also gives you a chance to gather some of the forageables, which is also good for money and gifts. But yeah, these things, whole bunch of them earlier in the season, no reason not to just run and grab them. Sometimes a few appear down here next to the sewer. Not this time, but that's okay. You're still getting plenty of them here. Give me a yellow. I'm sorry, not the... Did I say leeks? I said spring onions. Or did I say spring onions? I don't remember. The spring things. That's not your usual gatherables. Because, you know, the usual gatherables appear scattered all across town, you know, to the north, to the south. These things, they only grow in the southern part. And only for the earlier parts of spring. Later on in the spring, once the salmon berries start pushing out, the leeks become a little bit less prominent and don't show up again. But they do regrow on their own. So if us harvesting them right now doesn't mean they're gone for the season, they'll be back. We just have to give them time. No reason to check for them rabidly every single day. Yeah, not going to get any earthworms where it's grassy here. Earthworms only appear on dirt patches like this. Just keep your eyes peeled for movement. They can be tricky to find. I've also never seen earthworms on my actual farm directly. Now, another reason for taking this loop here is we want to make sure we clear a path to the. We want to make sure we clear a path to the from the southern part of our farm to the north, so that if we have to make that journey in a future day and we forget to take the scythe with us, we can still make that journey. So there we go. Productive day. We've spent almost all of our energy. Let us go and liquidate gatherables here. Now you'll notice an interesting diversion from this. Previously I said, all right, well, make sure you keep those spring harvestables, you know, because we're going to want to do it for the community center to get the you know, the foraging bundle. We're not going to bother with the bundles in this one. We're going to be saddling up with Joja. Yeah, I know you guys are going to yell at me for that. But you know what? Hey, strategies are strategies, and tactics are tactics, and you got to try different things to see what works. And this particular thing helps simplify matters for us. Oh, there, yeah, they're still happy. Why am I checking the weather? I should go to bed, and then I'll check the weather. Level 1 foraging, sweet. Yeah, that's what we want. The other reason to go tree chopping, besides getting the 50 wood, is to make sure that you get level 1 foraging up so that you have access to trees sometimes drop seeds. That's very important when you're chopping wood in future days, because we can start building up seeds for those field snacks. Yeah, those spring onions are not going to make you the big bucks, and there are some schools of thought that say, you know, you really should just keep them for energy, but me, we'll have access to cheap energy later on. So I just sell them. Okay, so a little cash in our pocket. Let's check the weather. Rain all day. That's wonderful. Because the less time and the less energy we spend watering our crops, just in general, the better. So this is a wonderful clutch day of rain for us tomorrow, and one that I wonder if it's always day 3 that's scripted to be rain. I don't know if it's officially scripted, but if it is, that's a good thing. Spirits are very displeased today. I could have flip-flopped that, because we're going to be doing stuff that does have RNG to it, and the spirits being pissed, not going to help our profitability, but not much we can do about that. Okay, we don't need the scythe, we do need the watering can. We're gonna keep, yeah, we'll keep the, we'll drop off the hoe for now. If I see earthworms, I'll just go back, get the hoe, and dig them up then. But in this next part, we are going to need more room in our backpack, our limited-sized backpack, mind you. And yes, we are going to be expending some energy here to water our crops, but it is important that you do this. You don't want to miss a day of growth for here. Not only does that get you harvestables sooner, and get you a little burst of cash sooner, it also keeps the crows away from them, because until you get farming level 1, you cannot craft a scarecrow, and therefore your crops are at the mercy of the crows. So we got lucky today that none of our crops got crowed, but if a crow shows up, all is not lost. Just keep in mind how many of your crops get eaten by crows. Just keep that number in your brain. It's going to be important later. Okay, there we go. Now you'll notice that here's a divergence. I don't really go out of my way to track down characters and say hi. If I bump into them, or if visiting them is right on along the path to where I wanted to go anyway, that's fine. But I'm not going to, sit outside their door and waste time. I'm not going to go way out of my way. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing for the sole purpose of bumping into them. It's only a matter of convenience. Okay, so we have our bamboo pole. That is important. But we're not going to fish here at the sea. Even by that magic rock, as I've nicknamed it. That magic rock tends to have the best sea fishing area. But we can do better. We can do better. We can do much better. How's it going, Alex? Since we were pursuing her, we might as well say hi to Maru. Oop, and there's a quest. Always good to pick up a quest, just in case. A largemouth bass! And it's Maru! It's Maru! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, that is like the literal most perfect quest ever. Because we're going to be fishing for largemouth bass. And we're going to be trying to romance Maru. Wow. Wow. Coincidence level to the max. Well, like I said, my strategy is not luck dependent. So I'm not saying if you don't get this wonderful quest that you're boned or anything. So this right here, this spot right here, this is where we're going to be spending a lot of our time during this spring. Fishing is going to be very, very important to the lazy farmer strategy because, as the name implies, we're not too interested in actually farming. I mean, yes, in the beginning game, yes, we are indeed interested in farming, but there's a specific reason I want to farm a little bit in the early game, but otherwise step away from it. Carps. The A and the R should be reversed because that's how they sell. Now, an interesting thing about carps, however, the fact that they sell so horribly, is we actually want to not sell them. There's actually a longer-term plan with them. So just because you're catching carps now, I mean, granted, I'd rather be catching largemouth bass. They are the most expensive fish that you can catch right here, and I need one for my quest. But just because you're catching carps doesn't mean that you're wasting time, because carps will eventually become very useful. And we're going to be saving them until they do. All right. Now, the thing about fishing up here, especially with fishing skill level 0, is some of the fish are a little tricky for a level 0 character. Yes, largemouth bass, quest complete. I just need to track down Maru. I'll try and catch her on her way back. Can't believe it was Maru asking for a largemouth bass. Coincidence level to the max. Now the financial gain that she's going to be giving me is that they just pay twice the normal price for the item that they're asking for. So I'm only, by getting lucky, I'm only actually gaining 150 gold out of the deal. Because the base sale price for a non-starred largemouth bass is 150, and she's offering me 300 for it. So it's not like this little lucky event is required. I guarantee you I will hit my financial milestones by more than 150 gold. Because I want to show you that this strat can work even if you don't get fantastic strings of luck. Speaking of, we are operating against pissed off spirits, so we are probably not going to be seeing much in the way of treasure chests here, which is the main driver for wanting to fish during lucky days. Is you get a lot more treasure chests, and from what I've seen, treasure chests are more profitable when you crack them open. But again, nothing we can do about that. And for this particular strat, day 2, it's a water your crops and fish. There's nothing else really for you to do. Yes, you can go tree chopping. I mean, wood is important. Wood will be important. But under this strat, don't do it now. We're actually going to be minimizing how much wood we chop for the moment. We will be chopping wood. We will be doing things that involve wood, but in the later on in the season. These largemouth bass, wonderful. Especially if you get starred ones. Heck yeah! That's what gets you some early game profits, and that's why we're fishing here. The largemouth bass, the chubs, and the bullheads all have really good selling prices for, non-hyperactive, non-ultra rare, crazy special fish. So the only duds in this area are carp, and you'll also notice that this area does not have a high garbage catch rate. So, you know, if you were to go fishing in the river or in your pond, you'll be catching up 50-50 fish and garbage, and that can get very annoying very quickly. But here, we're getting mostly fish. Yes, you get algae, but algae is important on its own, too. You will occasionally get a piece of garbage here, but again, it's so rare compared to other fishing spots that it's almost negligible. Alright, silver bullheads, wonderful. And yeah, we basically want to sit here and fish till our energy runs out. Now, at level 0, fishing costs you about 8 energy a pop, so keep that in mind when you're watching your energy bar and you're starting to get low. You do not want to fish yourself into exhaustion. You don't want to do anything yourself to exhaustion. Alright, so now speaking of fishing, since this whole strategy is going to involve a lot of fishing, and a lot of you can get frustrated at fishing. The other part of this is going to be me really talking about the semantics of how to fish. Now, as the tutorial explained, obviously you need to keep the green bar next to the fish. Plain and simple. But there's some tricks to it. The thing to keep in mind, it helps if you visualize this, is that the green bar has weight. It is constantly being dragged to the bottom. Not only does it have weight, it also has momentum. So if it hits the bottom or the top at high speed, it will bounce. And that's generally not desirable because you kind of want to keep it controlled. Now, when trying to keep it centered, the longer you click and hold the reel button, the faster it shoots up to a particular position. Doing that's actually bad, because if I were to do that, boom, it becomes very difficult to regain control of it, especially once it starts bouncing all over the place. So what you want to do, you'll notice the sound effects that that's me. Every time it goes, that's me clicking the mouse. I'm sort of tugging on it. You know, in terms of like physical movement, it's almost like fly fishing, where you're kind of flicking it. You know, little quick taps. Now, the other side of things when people say quick taps is they'll go crazy. They'll go, you know, click, 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 and not get enough movement like I just did there. So no, what you want is like tap, 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 not and not click, click. Either of those two extremes will make it more difficult to control your bobber. Now, obviously, your click frequency is going to have to change depending on the fish. If it's going up, obviously you're going to want to click faster to make yours rise a little bit more. And I do say faster, but still firmly. You know, you don't. Again, a single click and hold is not a smart idea. Because it'll go rocketing past where the fish is. Now, if the fish goes down really quickly, then I advocate stop clicking and let gravity do the work. And then once it starts going past the fish, then start your tapping to sort of rein it back and neutralize it so it doesn't drop any further. So that is my tutorial on that. Now, the other thing to note is when you first start fishing, your character is fishing level 0. That means the little green area that's keep this green area behind the fish. First piece of garbage. It's at its smallest. It's at its narrowest. Ironically, the mini game is at its most difficult when you first start out. And that can get frustrating to a lot of players. And dang it. With inventory full, well, I'm willing to trash some of this trash. And one other interesting thing to note about trash, you generally actually want to hold on to it. It's useful later on. But if we need to make room for a more valuable fish, I'm willing to junk one of the trash items to make inventory space for it. I'm not going to make inventory space for more trash. Now I do want to get myself back to Maru's house so that I can drop off her fish and get that sweet bonus and that sweet relationship gain. And more trash. Okay, looks like we hit an unlucky streak. Let's get back there. See if we can't catch Maru on her way back from the clinic, or if she's already back to the clinic, catch her before she goes to bed. There's Robin. There's Maru. Hey, Maru, I got a present for you. A surprise, if you will. That's what I needed. Sweet. And then, if I am request... Oh, no, that didn't give her a... I haven't given her officially a gift yet, but I don't think she likes daffodils. I might toss her one of my parsnips once they grow. If I bump into her. Again, not obsessing over... not really obsessing over tracking her down and necessarily fulfilling my gift quota and chat quota with her. Because making sure that we are being efficient on a standpoint of getting things done is more the thrust of this particular strategy rather than romancing. And not only that, but this particular strategy facilitates romancing down the line more efficiently. And I'll show you how. Alright, so rule of thumb is, well, these daffodils, I'll hold on to them and give random gifts. Bullheads, any quality, sell them. Chubs, any quality, sell them. Largemouth bass, absolutely sell them. Sell the bullheads. Algae, if you have some left over, sell it. Hold on to your junk and normal quality and silver star quality carp, hold on to. Gold star quality carp, that's worth 45. Still not great, but you might as well sell it. But yeah, we're going to hold on to those. We're going to hold on to that. Ironically, we are keeping the trash, essentially. All right, and without anything else and with minimal energy, well, we have enough energy to take a few swings at a tree here, I think. Maybe not. Not with 15. I'm not going to chance it. Yeah. We'll just go to bed. All right, folks, and yes, level up fishing. We'll probably only get one level here. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, look at that money. Look at that money. 759 gold. And that doesn't include the 300 that I haven't quite picked up yet from the quest. But even if I didn't get that quest, you'd add in another 150 onto the mix here, and huzzah! So, folks, this is a good end to the first episode. So I hope you like it. If you like this episode and want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback is always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya.